This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here at Insured with Benny. Since 2018, they have helped consumers save money, businesses reduce risk, and families protect and preserve their financial future.
Hi.
Benny, let's start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, you have quite business experience in the past 12 years since you've been here in America. Why don't you share with us a little bit how this got started for you and why you decided to turn to this industry to educate folks?
Yeah, so when I moved in 2010, we had to teach in a day school setting as a part of my master's degree in education. And when that kind of started, I fell in love with the idea of teaching people, and specifically at that time was kids. But I love the idea of actually guiding people and educating them and kind of getting them to the next step of stuff. And then throughout the years, I stayed in the education world until 2017, 2018, where that kind of ended unexpectedly. But at that point in time, I really decided it was time to a career change, but yet I wanted to stay in the education realm of teaching people and stuff. And then I was kind of looking for how can I use my skills in terms of educating and really patient and explaining big concepts into day-to-day ideas. And then literally talking to a neighbor down the street back in 2018, she kind of convinced me, well, you should be looking into the life insurance because no one understands life insurance and everyone needs it, but no one knows how to get it. So those big questions kind of got me involved in the education, in the insurance world, and kind of got me on this path into financial advertising.
And the rest is history, as they say. I mean,
right.
Quite a bit has changed just in the past 3 years here. This past year has definitely taught all of us that basically events can happen, they do happen, and really the best thing that we can do, because a lot of it's out of our control, is be prepared for it. Is this important for you to really educate people on preparation, not only for today, but also in the future?
Definitely. I think being prepared, or at least having the knowledge how to get prepared, is definitely important, especially in the last year. In the last year, we have seen a lot of people who suddenly started asking the questions, hold on, this is virus going on. I don't have health insurance. Nonetheless, I don't have any life insurance. If something happens to me, if I survive, I'm left with huge major bills. If I don't survive, then I'm leaving my kids or my loved ones or my spouse with nothing. So I need to start having these conversations. And that's the kind of client that we've been helping the last year or so.
It's interesting.
Answering those questions.
It's interesting, like you say, not only being prepared, but knowing what the tools are to be prepared as well. And yet, statistics show that as Americans, we're really not that prepared. I mean, I'm seeing things like 39% of us say that $1,000 setback would really hurt us. I mean, that's 4 in 10 Americans. That's not very good. Why do you think it's more needed today that maybe we're prepared for the future than it was even 20 years ago?
Right, because one of the major issues is that healthcare costs are going up. So you go to the ER for just a visit. You see a doctor maybe 5-10 minutes, you're going to walk out with $2,000 bill. It's incredible. Those costs are skyrocketing, and insurance plans are going down. So their premiums are going up, the coverage are going down. It doesn't matter what plan you choose, you're going to get less and less as time goes by and pay more and more for it. And then that being said, when it comes to life insurance, a lot of the life insurance policies out there don't take under consideration like living benefits, for example. Well, it's not about if you die, it's what happens when you survive whatever setback you had, what happens to those medical bills? You're looking at tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of bills in dollars, and then you suddenly realize, I don't have money to get to it, which helps answer the 1 out of 3 bankruptcies in North America is due to medical expenses.
I believe that. So
you get to those questions and people are like, well, it was too expensive to me to pay premium. And my response to that is always, well, it might be expensive now, but what happens if something does happen to you? It gets way more expensive after the fact.
That is interesting. I mean, insurance, different types of insurance, investment strategies. I mean, honestly, let's be real. A lot of this is so overwhelming to the average consumer. I mean, someone who doesn't do this professionally, I've looked into it, I'm overwhelmed. Is this really where you pride yourself on the fact that you're providing professionals who understand that landscape and can help us navigate through those areas?
Yes, that's what we really take pride in doing. We focus, in Colorado we do home and auto as well. Not in every state that we function we do those things, but in Colorado and as well as other states throughout the nation, we offer a lot of health insurance. That's how we talk to people.
Okay.
People are confused, just like you said. Health insurance is changing. It's a day-to-day changes sometimes. You have ACA plans, you have private plans, and we haven't even talked about Medicare, for example, turning 65. That's a completely different set of knowledge skills that one needs to get, and it's confusing. Bottom line, it's confusing, and the best solution for that is to talk to someone that's what they do. That's why we're talking, because we love to teach, we love to express ourselves and help individuals, and every case is different.
That is true.
Just because two people are looking for the same kind of insurance doesn't mean the final product is going to be the same for those two people.
That is interesting. I mean, to really plan for the future, we have to take a clear picture of the present.
Right.
Tell me what happens at that initial meeting when you're actually taking inventory of a particular person. What are you looking at overall?
So what we're looking at is what they currently have and what they want to achieve.
Okay.
So basically, when we look at health insurance, we want to make sure that the day-to-day stuff is covered. They wake up in the morning, they want to go see a doctor. One should have the opportunity to go see a doctor without worrying how much that's going to cost me. That's the basic. Now then the next step will be, do they care about or do they want preventative care? Once a year checkup, lab works, anything in that related. If that's a concern, then we have a certain direction we want to go. And then that's the basic. If they have that in place, then we can talk about the next step. The next step is what happens if something major will happen to you. Okay. An accident, illness. We in Colorado love going skiing. Many accidents happen as a result of skiing and outdoor. So we get those as well, those concerns. So we have solutions depending on what the needs are. And then for the long term, what we look at is the financial stability. We want to make sure that when, as a part of our financial services, what we do is we also evaluate life insurance, and we use life insurance policies. We have living benefits. Now, if your life insurance current one does not have living benefits, then the chances of that policy ever paying out to you, if it's a term, are very, very low. If you have living benefits and something major happens to you, you are covered. You don't have to worry about the medical expenses because your life insurance policy will kick in and help. So those are all kinds of conversations we have with individuals on that first meeting.
It's interesting. As you're assisting them with their long-term goals, you're also taking into consideration what they're doing today, the income that they're bringing in, and it's not just making sure that they're working for today, but really that their dollars that they're bringing in are going to assist them in the future. I mean, are there investment strategies that you're able to help people with and maybe show them where they're weak in one area and maybe need to round out? Is that something you're able to help people with after you've done the initial consultation? Yes,
so one of the major areas that we focus in Colorado, and together with PERA, which is the Public Employee Retirement System, what we do is we look at what public school teachers do, what city municipality employees do, and then beyond their pension that is taken out every paycheck from by the employer, be the state, be the county, be the city, whatever it is, we also help them invest correctly into long term. Now, our investment strategies are always tax free if it's done correctly, and they're always going to be guaranteed. So unlike the stock market that goes up, goes down, you can lose everything. There's a lot of risk. What we do is very guaranteed income. So we don't do any risk. I personally don't like risky money. I want to know where my money is.
Yeah.
And that's what I want my clients to feel too. So when they're talking to me and then we tell them to do A or B or C, they know that the money is going to be there when they need it, whenever that is. So we build a strategy to fit their needs, not what my necessarily agenda is.
So obviously, insurance is a critical component when it comes to providing a well-rounded portfolio for your future. You offer quite a few insurance that you're able to help with, everything from health to life, property, vehicle. Touch on a few of those for me, of somebody's looking to really look at each part of that.
Right, so we in Colorado, when we focus on the person in Colorado, they often come to us either because they're trying to save money, especially in the last year, everyone's trying to save money somehow. It's been rough for everybody. So what we do is we start off on the day-to-day necessities, and that could be home and auto, are usually the two big ones. Umbrella, usually sometimes yes, sometimes no, depending on the individual. And then we shift that into health insurance. And then later on, usually second meeting or third meeting, we usually would go into life insurance and investment long term if it's appropriate. Not always the case. Now, so because we offer a variety and we are contracted with over probably 60 or 70 different insurance companies nationwide, so we can look at what is the best product out there for this situation. If it's a car insurance, we have our 20 companies we work with. It's a home insurance, either a bundle with the auto insurance or maybe not, maybe a separate one. If it's an umbrella, we have separate entities, we have the same entities. So it all depends what we're trying to do. In most cases, I will say that when we talk to someone who's based in Colorado, for example, who comes for us from that side, we often find ways to save the money on a monthly basis. Now, if it's critical, then that money goes back to whatever they want to use it for, debts and stuff. If it's not critical and they can spare that money, then we show them how they can use it into an investment setting and build the long-term wealth. So, and then the other service we do offer related to that is debt relief. So with our partners in the insurance world, we are able, if someone has say $15,000 in debt, we can help them if they're unsecured debts. So credit card debts, student loans, stuff like that that are not secure against like a vehicle or mortgage. We can't touch secure debt, but unsecured debt, if we have people like that, then we can help them reduce the debts. We can reduce them the interest on it. And then at the same time, we save them there, we invest it there. So long term they might be cutting down, but long term they're gaining a lot more. So it's a kind of a balance, and it really is tailored specifically to the individual need.
Kind of an art and a science at the same time as you're trying to evaluate this.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, because you're an agent that is not tied into one type or carrier, do you feel you can provide a better fit for your clients because you have so many that you can offer and really fine-tune and customize it for them?
Yes, as I mentioned, we work with like 60 or 70 different carriers, and that's between the home and auto and umbrella and workers' comp that we offer, business insurance, and then of course we have the life insurance and health insurance carriers, which one would think they're the same companies, but they're not. There's a completely different set of rules for each of those fields, and because we are literally one-stop shop for all your insurance needs, then we can basically find the right product.
Right.
So not every product is born the same. Not every product is meant to serve the same person. So when you talk to a broker like us, you kind of get the sense of is this product A better than product B, and we can run both for you so you can see the results. We can do illustrations with any of our products, and we can give you quotes with any of our products. And this one doesn't work for you, no worries. We have option B. And then the other advantage of working with a broker like us is that with home and auto, for example, and health insurance too, they get renewed every 6 months, every 12 months. Okay. And when they do, often the case is that your premium is going to go up. That's just the industry. Like it or not, claim or not claim, they're going to go up. And being a broker, we kind of foresee that from happening. So what we automatically do, we do an annual review. It's a mandatory for us. And the reason for that is that we're not trying to shop you anything new. We're trying to see if you have the best rate. And maybe for your home and auto, it went up because everyone in your neighborhood went up. So guess what? We can shift you to a different company. Same benefits, same thing. Doesn't cost you anything more. In most cases, sometimes we even save you money in the process. And all you have to do is sign an electronic signature. We do the work, we take the responsibility, and we transfer you. And we save you money every year in the process.
Saving money, everyone likes that, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, saving money for your children's education, maybe even your education, reducing debt, planning for retirement. I mean, these all give you returns definitely on your money, but I mean, what they really pay is in peace of mind. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, it has to be great for you knowing that maybe they came to you a little distraught, overwhelmed, and yet now they've got everything put in place where they have a plan for the future. Being able to sleep through the night, is that important to you?
Yeah, I mean, I go to sleep. I barely sleep. My clients know that I sometimes even respond text messages at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, local time, or emails.
Yeah.
And that's because I can't go to sleep if there's an issue out there, meaning that if I know a client came to me, or a new client for that matter, and they have a concern, and I know I can solve it, I won't go to sleep that night until I have solved it, until I have given them option. And sometimes it's multiple options or a variety of options, and they have to choose. But I know that when I go to sleep at night, my clients are 100% protected, and that makes me the ease. I know that if something happens to them today, they're covered. I know that for most of them, those who've gone through our financial mapping strategy sessions, I know that when they need the money when they retire 10, 15, 20 years from now, they're going to have that security in place. We're going to have a once a year review to kind of, for us to show them, you guys are on track. This is our goal. This is where you are. We're one step further from where you were a year ago. Now, if the goal changed, no problem. We will change the process to meet the new goals or the new strategy if that needs to change. So we do have many different tools and many different things.
It's impressive. I mean, I mentioned before how overwhelming it is just for the average consumer out there. I would think that for our elderly, it's even more so. I mean, share with me, are you able to help those that are near the age of 65 or older? I mean, is a sit-down type of discussion something that still takes place today in your organization?
Yeah, so it's been kind of challenging in the last 18 months because of COVID restrictions, and face-to-face meetings kind of disappeared. I mean, it was not okay to meet face-to-face with people. Luckily, state of Colorado right now, we are able to meet seniors. We actually started a couple of weeks ago to do face-to-face. The insurance companies that we represent are very, very supportive of that direction, because bottom line is when we talk about seniors, and that's why we have all these guidelines specifically for seniors, is that we want to protect them. We don't want them to be confused. We don't want them to have so many options at the bottom line, even though there are multiple options. But we really want them to be served correctly, and thank them for the years of service and everything that they've done for us. It's our time to kind of meet with them, if it's by phone, if it's face-to-face. As I mentioned, we are back to face-to-face meetings with people, either in our office or in their homes. Whatever works best, we're really there to accommodate, and we're really there to educate. That's the bottom line. We really care about people walking away from our meetings with knowledge. If you have the knowledge, you know how to achieve it. But if you don't know the knowledge, then you kind of get confused. You kind of get overwhelmed, and then you choose maybe not the best decisions for you because you just didn't know.
I mean, I would imagine for the elderly that are approaching 65, maybe they've been used to a certain type of insurance their whole life. Now they're having to learn the ropes or the ins and outs of Medicare. Is this something that your team stays current on and can help them in an ever-changing industry?
Yes, we actually have to get certified every year. It's a federal requirement. Every year we gotta recertify on the federal level, as well as with each carrier. So for example, if I represent carrier A or carrier B or carrier C, and I want to sell them next year into 2022, then I gotta get retrained for all of the products again, every summer. So it's like July, I always refer July to be like the month of training, because everyone in our office in July, we sit in the same room for like 5-6 hours a day, and we go through every policy, we go through every expectation, and we learn them, and we train ourselves, and we learn, because bottom line is policies do change. Premiums go up, premiums go down, coverages change, more doctors are added to the network. There's all these changes, and that could be for one carrier. We have 60 carriers. So it's a lot of learning, but we love doing it, because bottom line is we go talk to someone and we have options, we have solutions, and we can educate and teach people what's out there for them.
That is important. I mean, when it comes to Medicare, we're not talking about just consumer protection. We're talking about rights. I mean, there are rights of what they should be getting. Do you feel sometimes people overpay or maybe miss out on certain things because they don't even realize that possibly that was covered?
Yes, sometimes lack of knowledge is people's disadvantage here.
Absolutely.
And often that's the case when they don't work with a broker or with a licensed agent, for that matter.
Yeah.
Sometimes friends and family, they mean well, they want to help, but sometimes they might not be the best solution, especially when they just don't know. I mean, you could be. I mean, I help my friends in the community who are turning 65. And you know what? They're more friends than clients for me. But in that world, I tell them, listen, I'm also licensed, so I'm going to give you approved information. And if you choose to work with someone else, that's fine too. But at least you have the knowledge, you have the abilities, and you know the process and the timeline of how to do things. So you don't wait to the last minute, and then you end up with what's left, kind of a scenario. But you know how to get to it, and then you know what to look for. So when you walk out with meeting with me, you walk out with skills, you walk out with the knowledge, and you walk out with knowing that you are prepared. Maybe not physically because you haven't done anything with it, but you have the mentality and you know what to do and how to do it.
This seems to me, as I look at, I researched your background, and really there's a wide variety of business that you've been involved in, but really the thread between it all is an education, be it educating children to educating the elderly. Is this rewarding for you as you see people walk away really empowered with having this knowledge?
Yes, I love the feeling. I mean, it makes a huge difference to me. If someone walks out of a meeting with me, whether if they purchased a policy or they didn't purchase a policy, just the fact that they, at the bottom line, they say to me sentences like, oh, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
Or now I have options, now I know what to do, or we'll think about it, we'll get back to you because you were so polite and you took this huge concept and you brought it down to me to somewhere I can understand. That's the feedback I get from clients every day, and that's what I love. That's why I'm in the industry. And I mean, the sales are great. I mean, yes, that's what makes that's how I live. But the bottom line is the satisfaction I get from clients and people, even if they don't become clients, just the interaction with people. And I think that's something that's been missing in the last year, is the face-to-face interactions with
definitely people. You definitely in a profession where it's an ongoing process, so you end up building relationships, therefore building friends, and at the end of the day they sleep better at night and everyone's great. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see basically is the website. Check out the website. You're going to learn a lot more about the company. They have a very powerful team. They're now serving literally half of the nation out there and expanding very quickly to be able to help anyone out there when it comes to providing for your family and for your future. Many different things you can look out there. Check out the testimonials. You can get a quote either online, over the phone, or if you prefer in person, they can come out and talk to you that way as well. Once again, that is Insured with Benny since 2018, located right here in Denver, Colorado, serving across the nation. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.